This is the second part of a Functional Skills Maths Level 1 paper from Highfield. In this part you can use a calculator and we'll have a look at the questions one by one together. Question 1. Which of these shows the net of a cube? Circle the correct letter. The correct one is this, D, and if you're not familiar with that, you should know that a cube has 6 faces, so this one is not an option. If you look at B, these two would overlap when you fold them, and A as well, you'd have this and this overlapping. So the only option is D. Using the scale, what's the distance between points A and B in miles? 1 kilometer is equal to 0.62 miles, and the scale is 2 centimeters to 5 kilometers. It might help to think of this as being on a map. So if this is the distance on the map, 9.6 centimeters, what is it in reality? And we're given a scale which is 2 centimeters to 5 kilometers. So this one here is 9.6 centimeters. So how many kilometers first? And then we'll convert that to miles. To get from 2 to 9.6, what do we multiply by? And we can do that by plugging in the calculator 9.6 divided by 2. And that gives us 4.8. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll multiply by 4.8, keeping the direction of the arrows the same, going downwards. So 5 times 4.8 gives us 24 kilometers. So we've got the distance in kilometers. We're going to convert it to miles now. We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 0.62 miles. What about 24 kilometers? So again, to get from 1 to 24, we multiply by 24. So we'll do the same on the other side. 0.62 times 24, 14.88 miles. Question 3. Put an X on the scale to show 14/20. The number line we're given is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts. So we could go either by simplifying this and making it out of 10. So 14 out of 20 is the same as 7 out of 10. So divided by 2, both sides. So we could do this, or leave the 14 out of 20 as it is, and then split the number line into 20 equal parts and go to where 14 is. But this is probably easier. So 7 out of 10, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is where the fraction is represented. Put these fractions in order of size. Start with the smallest. Write your answer in the box below. Now, I could just turn all of these with a common denominator and then convert them into equal fractions, but I'm not going to do that. And the reason is that there is a simpler way to do it in this particular case. So if you just look at the numbers half, we know what half looks like, and we also know what a quarter looks like, and we know that a quarter is smaller than a half. So if I place a quarter first and then a half, now 3/8, 2/8 will give us a quarter, 4/8 will give us half, so that is in the middle, in between quarter and half. And also 5/16, 4/16 will make a quarter, 8/16 will make a half, so this is again in between a quarter and a half. Now comparing these two together, there are different ways we could just follow the same reasoning that we just did for ordering these fractions. So if you think of in terms of 3/8, we said that a quarter would be 2/8. So if I put this underneath, and then half is going to be 4/8. So 3/8 will be bang on the middle. And if I repeat the process with the 16ths, so 4/16 will be a quarter, and a half will be 8/16. Now there are 3 spaces in between them, which have 5/16, 6/16, 7/16. So 5/16 is over here, which clearly is smaller than 3/8. Or the other way, you could have just got these two fractions, get them with a common denominator. So the number at the bottom is the same for both. So we've got double 8 makes 16. So we're going to double 3 as well to make 6/16, and then we'll keep this as it is because it has that exact denominator. So if we compare 6/16 with 5/16, 6/16 is bigger. So just like we said, 5/16 is smaller than 3/8. So right in the final order, get 1/4, 5/16, 3/8, and a half. Work out the volume of this cuboid. State the correct units in your answer. So we know that to work out the volume, we need to multiply length by width by height or depth. So we're going to multiply these numbers. Plug them into the calculator, and it gives us 869.02959. You could round it if you want. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And the unit, since we input centimeters in here, it's going to be cubic centimeters. Sarah and Ali share £352 in the ratio 1:3. How much is Sarah's share? So the ratio is 1 to 3. The amount we're given is the total. So it's not Sarah's or Ali's amount. And for that reason, we're not going to put it underneath this or that. We're going to put it right here. So 352. If we want to mark it as total, we can do so. Now, do we know what's the total number of units? And that is 1 and 3, which is 4. So 4 units will be equal to 352. What about 1 unit? So we need to divide it by 4. So 352 divided by 4 gives us 88. So there is 1 unit is 88 pounds. And that's what we need, Sarah's share. So that is 88 pounds. If you needed to work out Ali's share, then you'd have to multiply it by 3 because it's 3 units. You are planning a holiday to Spain. You and your friend Josh are planning the journey to the airport. You're going to get a taxi from your home to Lancaster and then a train from Lancaster to Highfield Airport Station. The taxi journey from your home to Lancaster is 16 miles. The taxi drives at an average speed of 40 miles per hour. You use this formula to calculate the time in hours that it takes the taxi to drive from your home to Lancaster. This is a timetable for trains from Lancaster to Highfield Airport Station. You need to arrive at Highfield Airport Station by 13:30 and you'd like to arrive as close as possible to this time. Complete the following table to show when to leave home and the details of your journey. Show your working out in the box on the following page. So we'll go back to the details that we have. So the taxi journey is 16 miles and the taxi drives at an average speed of 40 miles per hour. So how long does that take? We are given the formula to work it out. So to work out the time or how long, get the distance in miles, which is 16, and we're going to divide it by the speed in miles per hour, which is 40. And that gives us 0.4 hours. So 0.4 hours, how many minutes is that? To work it out, we can do 0.4 times the number of minutes in an hour, which is 60. And that gives us 24 minutes. So that's the taxi journey. Now we know that we need to arrive at the Highfield Airport Station by 1:30. Okay, so this is the closest it can be to 1:30. You can't go after 1:30, you've got to go before. And this is the one to pick in this case. So what we already know from these gaps is only that at 13:10 we must arrive at the Highfield Airport Station. So we're going to go backwards now. Depart from Lancaster. So that should be 12:05. Now, when do we arrive at Lancaster and when do we leave home? We haven't been given any more information about this, so if you want to just write here 12:05, same time as depart from Lancaster, that should be absolutely fine. I will write 12 o'clock, simply for the reason that it might take a bit of time and you want to kind of factor in a few extra minutes just in case. But as I said, feel free to do 12:05 and it should be perfectly fine as an answer. And when do we leave home? Now, we worked out earlier that it takes 24 minutes. So we're going to go 24 minutes backwards from 12 o'clock. "24 minutes. And if you go backwards, it's going to be 11:36. And that's the table complete. These are the temperatures for the last 7 days at your holiday hotel. Calculate the mean maximum temperature for the last 7 days. Show your working and write your answer in the box below. So we're looking at maximum temperature for each day. We're going to add them all together and divide by how many there are, which in this case it's 7 of them. So 25, add 28, add 26, 29, 32, 35 and 31, which gives us 206. So 206 divided by 7 gives us 29.428571 and so on. So I'm going to round that to 29 degrees. Can't round it to 30 because of this 4 in there. If it was 5 and above, I'd be able to. So 29 degrees. There are 2 different water parks near your hotel. You and Josh both have the following leaflets. Water World, €36 per person, 1/3 off per person with this leaflet. And then we have Water Kingdom, €39 per person, 30% off per person with this leaflet. The exchange rate is £1 is equal to €1.12. How much less is it for you both to go to the cheaper water park than go to the more expensive water park? Give your answer in pounds sterling. Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So we're going to work it out for both of them and then work out the difference. So Waterworld, €36 per person, 1/3 off. So 1/3 of €36 is going to be worked out by dividing 36 by 3, which gives us 12. So we'll take it away. 36 take away 12 gives us 24. So €24 per person. And of course it's 2 of them. we'll go 2 times 24 equals 48 euros. So we'll convert this to pounds now. We know that £1 is equal to €1.12. What about 48 euros? To get from 1.12 to 48, what do we multiply by? And we can work it out by using the calculator and going 48 divided by 1.12, and that gives us 42.86. So I've just rounded it to 2 decimal places because it's a much longer number. And so we'll do the same on the other side. So we'll multiply by 42.86, and that gives us £42.86. Now we've got the other one, so we'll repeat the process. £39 per person, 30% off. So 30% of 39, and we can do this in many different ways, but since we've got a calculator we can just do 30 out of 100 or divided by 100 times 39, which gives us 11.7. So 11 euros and 70 cents. So we're going to have to take that away from the 39. Now you can use a calculator for this. So 27 euros and 30 cents. It's 2 of them, so we're going to go 2 times 27.30, and that gives us 54 euros and 60 cents. Now we can convert that to pounds. So £1 is equal to €1.12. What about 54 euros and 60 cents? So 54.6 divided by 1.12 gives us 48.75. So we'll do the same on this side by multiplying by 48.75, which gives us then £48.75. So comparing them two together and working out the difference, £48.75, take away £42.86, gives us £5.89 difference. Question 10. You visit a restaurant that is holding a raffle with a cash prize. A free ticket is given to each of the 40 people in the restaurant, including you and Josh. You meet Raj and Petrina in the restaurant. They suggest that you and Josh share your raffle tickets with them and share the prize equally if you win. Calculate the probability of winning with Josh and then with Josh, Raj and Petrina. Give your answers as fractions and decimals, show your working out and write the answers in the box below. So with Josh, that would be 2 people out of the 40, which is the same as 1 out of 20. And if we use a calculator to go 1 divided by 20, that's going to give us 0.05. And for option B with Josh, Raj and Petrina, so that's 4 of them out of the 40, that is 1 out of the 10, which when you divide, you get 0.1. So fractions with Josh, that was 1 out of 20. With Josh, Raj and Petrina, it was 1 out of 10, 1/10, I should say. And then decimals, we get 0.05 and 0.1. You work as a builder for Highfield Construction. The site manager has asked you to put a safety fence around the outside of a building. You have this plan. The safety fence must be 2 meters away from each side of the building. The safety fence is made up of panels which are each 2.4 meters long. How many do you need for the whole fence? Show your working out and write your answer in the box below. Let's work out the perimeter of the safety fence, which is the dotted line around the building. So we've got these dimensions of the building. So this length here is 20 meters, and we can add the 2 meters on this side and 2 meters on this side. So that makes it 24 meters in total. Now looking at the width, we've got 15.2 and we've got to add the 2 meters here and 2 meters there. So adding 4, so that makes it 19.2. So let's work out how many panels we need for each of these lengths. So for the 24, we're going to go 24 divided by 2.4, which gives us 10. The 19.2, we're going to go 19.2 divided by 2.4, which gives us 8. So 8 panels on this side and 8 on this side. And then 10 on this and 10 on this side. That gives us 36 panels. And that's the answer. The site manager needs to order cement for the base of the building. The base will be 120 millimeters thick. Concrete costs £85 per cubic meter, and any amount can be ordered. Calculate the cost of the concrete needed for the base. Show your working out and write your answer in the box below. So since we're talking about concrete, we know that we've got to cover the whole area. So we're going to work out the area of the base of the building and then multiply it by the thickness to work out how much of the cement, so getting the volume. So 20 times 15.2 gives us 304. Now we'll multiply it by the 120 millimeters, but we've input meters, so we're going to convert this to meters because we need all of the units to be the same. So this is 120 millimeters. To convert it to centimeters, we divide it by 10. So that gives us 12 centimeters. 12 centimeters is equal to 0.12 meters. And you can work it out by dividing by 100 if you like, because there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So 304 times 0.12 gives us 36.48 cubic meters. The other thing you could have done is to multiply these directly, so 20 times 15.2 times 0.12, and that's basically the volume. So now we know that the cost is £85 per cubic meter, and we've got the cubic meters, 36.48 times 85 should give us the total cost, which is 3,100.8. Now when it comes to money, we need to have 2 digits after the decimal point, so £3,100 and 80 pence. The cement company adds a 5% delivery charge to the cost of all orders. What's the total cost including delivery? Show your working out and write your answer in the box below. So the cost was £3,100 and 80 pence before delivery. Now we're going to work out 5%. So 5% of 3,100.8 we can work out by going 5 over 100, 5% out of 100 in total, of the 3,100.8 gives us 155.04. So we're going to go 3,100.8. You can have the 0 after as well, it doesn't make any difference. Add 155.04 gives us £3,255 and 84 pence. In a survey, 20 builders were asked how many bricks they could lay in one day. These are the results. Use the results to complete the table below using equal groups. So a start has been made. So 301 to 350, then 351 to 400. So in blocks of 50. So I'm going to go 401 to 450. Then 451 to 500. 501 to 550. So from 301 to 350, let's see how many of them there are. So 320, that's one. 340, and that's just 2 of them. Now between 351 and 400, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now between 401 and 450, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 4 of them. 451 to 500, 1, 2, 3. Now all of the rest should be within 501 and 550. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in total, that is 20. We should match how many numbers you had to begin with. So using your table from 13a, which is the question we've just done, create a graph or chart to represent the group data. Draw your graph below. I'm going to draw a bar chart, so I am going to make this a bit smaller so you're able to see what's happening. So we're going to show the frequency here, how many of them, and the groups horizontally. You can use a ruler and a pencil, but I need to use the tools that we've got coming with Word. So we'll start with the axis first. And repeat this for the vertical axis. So there were 5 groups, which we're going to represent here. We can leave a gap and start, or start from here, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to make them 2 squares wide and then leave a gap of 1 square. And that should be enough for the 5 of them. I'm going to label them. So 301 to 350, 351 to 400, 401 to 450, 451 to 500, 501 to 550, and this was number of bricks, so we need to label it number of bricks. We'll show the number of builders vertically. And there are 22 squares in total. I've checked that for each of these groups, the highest number is 6. So how many 6s can we fit into 22? We can fit 3. So I'm going to go from 0 here. There's going to be 1, so 3 squares. That means 2, 3, 4. You could have done it with 2 squares as well. 5, 6. So there were 2 of them within the first group. So we're going to show that. Going up to 2. And there were 5 in the second one. Now, of course, when you do this exam on paper, you can just use a ruler and a pencil. So this has morphed, and I need to bring it down. So it goes up to 5. Looking at the table again. So the third group goes up to 4. The next one up to 3, and then up to 6. We'll go up to 3. And then the final one, we need to go up to 6. And this is the bar chart. We can check against the table, and I have, and it matches. And this is also the end of the paper.